Okay, welcome back to my elevated deer blind build part 6. Today we're doing the roof and the stair railing. Here you can see I'm adding some great stuff into all the little spots here in the middle roof to keep out the hornets and the wasps and everything. Thought that would be a good idea. Loading up the framing nailer and getting ready to install the cleats. I had planned on putting cleats for extra support under the stairs, and it just totally was an oversight. I forgot to do it, so I cut them all up at home and stained them and got them all put together there. The next portion here is to add some posts and the railing. We opted to add the railing before bringing the roof up, just for the fact that it would be a little bit safer, and plus if we needed to set the roof down, we would have some place to set it on. You can see here my son giving me a hand here. Yeah, it looks like somebody loaded the nails into the framing nailer backwards. Nobody's confessing on that, so we had to take a minute to fix that. And I'm just using the nail gun to put one nail in there to hold it temporarily. I'm using timber lock lags. You can see they really lock everything in solid. You only need two. There's a 250-pound shear strength. You can see the power of that nail gun. The discharged vent blew my hat right off of my head there. Gotta watch out for that. So, finishing up the railing. Putting a high rail and a low rail. And now we're going to lift the roof. And if you can see that I nailed a couple of 2x4s onto the railing, and they're going from the railing to the edge of the blind there, to the top of the blind. And I also nailed a couple of cleats on top there. And I'm really glad I did. The reason I put the cleats on top is so we could take a break and hook the roof right over the cleat, and it would support the weight from sliding down. And we did it twice. You can see we're taking a break now, and then we'll lift it up, take another break. Although this clip is very short, it took us about let's see, the total clip length was 12 minutes, and I edited it down to just a minute or so. But actually, this worked out really slick, where you can see we used the slider right up and over, and there it goes, right up on top. And I had stapled my little pink foam sill gasket on top, just to add a little extra insulation, and mainly for squeaks and creaks, just so I didn't have that wood-to-wood contact. And of course, yeah, telling my brother and my kid, don't slide the roof, don't slide the. They slide it, and of course, we get the roof all up, and it's backwards, so we had to spin it around the other way, which literally only took a minute. That was not a big deal. I'm so happy I got this roof on. It's just like a milestone for me on this. Cutting the posts for the railing at the top. And then trimming off the excess. And now we're going to measure for the top piece of the railing there. I just shot a 2x4 into the side, and the railing will mount right on the top of that. There's my helper down there. He was doing all the cutting and throwing the wood up to me, and I was nailing it in place. There he is down there taking measurements and cutting. And that fit in there just perfect. The opposite side. Again, nailing a 2x4 right to the blind itself, laying the top right on. Here we are, carrying a chair. I figured before I get the railing and I can swing the door all the way open, I might want to get that chair up in here. It really didn't matter anyway. It fit even with the railing. Now back to the railing. I'm going to add the top on. We'll shoot that in there. And here I am caulking the some of the gaps on the inside. These are the smaller gaps. The bigger gaps I used the Great Stuff foam. The carpet squares, they worked out great. My brother mentioned something about running over to Tractor Supply, and he recommended getting some horse stall mat. It's like a thick rubber, and he thought it would be, easy enough to lay that carpet over, and still hard enough to roll a chair and everything on. But he said it would really add a lot of insulation and quiet everything down a lot. Cutting out the last pieces. I'll probably come back and maybe get a couple of carpet tacks and put it in each corner just to make sure it stays down. I didn't want to glue it or anything. If it stays, I'll just leave it as is. Here it is. This is the finished product here. Like I said, a little bit more work to do. After this part of the video, I have another part here that kind of gives an idea of the cost to build and everything. So stay tuned for that. I took some of the leftover carpet scraps and I cut some strips and I laid them on the windowsills. I'll staple those in place. I'll figure that'd be nice and quiet when you rest your gun on there. And thanks for watching so far. Stay tuned for this last part. Okay guys, so I'm getting a lot of questions from friends and acquaintances, and they've watched the video. They've talked to me about this. The big question is, what does it cost? So I can tell you right now, I stopped counting at $600, and I can almost guarantee you I have over $1,000 into this. And in fact, every time I turn around, I'm spending another $100. I went out just the other day. I got the steps built and everything, and I thought, crap, I forgot to buy wood for cleats for underneath the step treads. I want to do railing, but I want to do double railing, right? A low one and a high one. I want to do a top railing. I need 4x4 posts. I need timber lock, lag screws, and all the other hardware. I got to stain it. I got to paint it. $100 is just like that. It's gone. So people are asking, well, could you build it cheaper? Um, you bet you could build it cheaper. Absolutely. There's a lot of things that we could have done to save money. For starters, you don't have to use pressure treated wood. Um, you could have just used OSB. Um, the roof system originally, I was just going to build a shed roof. I decided to go with a straight gable. Then I thought I'll go with roll roofing, and then I changed my mind and I went with a steel roof. So yeah, you could have saved a lot of money there. The windows themselves, those windows I bought from Shadowhunter, um, I have probably close to $150 tied up in just the windows alone. A lot of people don't, they'll put homemade windows or just put a piece of burlap over the slide. It'll be plenty warm. I'll guarantee it'll be warm. I have blinds like that of my own. You put a heater in there, and it's fine. Um, some of the other things, you could have put that thing on the ground. I could have saved so much money if I would have placed it on the ground, and it's a good spot to be on the ground. To be honest with you, putting it on the ground would have eliminated the deck, the steps, the whole railing system, the elevators, the 4x4 posts, and all the bracing that hold it up, the earth anchors, the blocking on the ground, and time. Time is the one thing that I have very little of, and it was very time consuming to build this thing. Running up north every chance I got to work on this. It's been a little easier with this whole COVID-19 thing, but it's still time consuming and costly to drive up and back, and just a big pain in the ass dragging all that stuff up there, generators and compressors and everything. Again, you don't have to do all that, but I figured if I would have built that thing on the ground and cut corners, I could have probably saved half. I'm almost positive that I could have probably built that entire thing for $500 or $600 easily. So I don't want to discourage anybody from building the blind. By all means, build the blind, and if you want it in the air, build it in the air. That's great too. Um, but I've been talking about doing this for 10 years, and I'm going to be 60 this year, and I'm just getting tired of hunting in this shitty weather, to be honest with you. So just getting tired of hunting in the rain and the sleet and the cold and all that at my age. It's time to do it. My young kids are hunting in better blinds than I am. But yeah, I still got a few things I want to do on the inside. Maybe like some kind of a gun rest that's on the window that I could just leave my gun kind of laying on there and just pad it. Nothing big, maybe something that sticks, 6 inches. Some shelves, stuff like that, coat racks, a heater. Been looking at Mr. Heater, Buddy Heaters. I can't remember. Buddy Heater. The only problem I have with the heater is they all seem to make a hissing sound. And I'm not worried about the deer hearing the heater. I'm worried about me not being able to hear the deer outside of the blind. I'm already at a disadvantage because I'm inside. But if anybody has any ideas what kind of heater I can get that's quiet, put it in the comments down below. That would be great. I'd appreciate that. If you liked watching this series, please consider subscribing. Give me a like, ring the little bell. I'll try to make some more hunting videos. I'm actually having fun doing this, so hopefully I'll get some more stuff done and get it up on YouTube for you. Until then, everybody take care, be safe.